Hello.
Sa iyong damdamin ipamalas ang angking galing. Tumayong buong tapang harapin ang buhay, akapin ang tagumpay. Tulungan ang kapwa't bigyang halaga, wag hatakin ng pababa. Isipin wag sana ang sarili lang, pakisama't bayanihan. Subukan nating isulong at ligawan ang magandang bukas. Ikaw at ako magkasama tayo sa lubungin ng kinabukasan. Mandirigmang Pilipino, dakila ang lahi ko. Bayaning Pilipino sa makabagong panahon. Halina't hawakan ng aking kamay, sabay abutin natin ang tagumpay. Patuloy lang tayo sa pagpapanday, tiwala sa Diyos ang sandat at gabay. Subukan natin.
In the last 500 years, Filipinos have fought for freedom, unity, and equality. We have made our mark in many fields, from science and medicine to culture and the arts. We are beacons of creativity, resourcefulness, resiliency, and compassion. In 2021, the Filipino people will join the world in commemorating one of the greatest achievements of mankind, the first circumnavigation of the world. We celebrate this historic achievement by bannering an important message. Over adversity and struggles, we shall triumph, putting humanity first, always.
Sige. Mandirigmang Pilipino, dakila ang lahi ko, bayaning Pilipino sa makabagong panahon.
Makasaysayang araw po sa ating lahat, mga kaibigan. Ako po si Xiao Chua, isang public historian, at ako'y humahalili muna habang hinihintay po natin ang ating Deputy Speaker Loren Legarda. Welcome to Road to 500 with Loren. So ito pong programang ito ay kasama natin dito ang National Historical Commission of the Philippines, ang Department of Education, ang National Commission for Culture and the Arts, at ang National Museum of the Philippines, at ang Department of Foreign Affairs. Mga kaibigan, 6 months na lang mula ngayon, ang bansa natin ay magdiriwang na. Kahit sa panahon ng pandemya, ipagdiwang po natin ang isa sa pinakamalaking tagumpay ng sangkatauhan. At ito nga yung first circumnavigation of the planet 500 years ago, 1521 o 2021 po next year. So, bago yan, syempre, balikan natin dun sa mga ngayon palang nag-tune in sa atin kasi ito yung pangatlo natin, o pang-apat na yata to, pang-apat na Road to 500 with Loren. Tandaan po natin na dati, bagamat alam ng ibang mga siyentipiko na ang mundo ay bilog, o ang mundo ay pwedeng ikutin, walang nakakaalam, o walang nakakasubok pa, at takot na takot sila. Pero, siyempre, ang nangyari ay isang makulit na explorer na si Ferdinand Magellan ay nakumbinsi niya si Carlos I, no? Ang Spanish king upang subukan sa pamamagitan ng kanyang mga paglalayag ang rutang ito, mula Atlantiko patungo sa Pasipiko. Alam nyo, pagod na pagod sila, 90 days sila sa Pacific Ocean. Actually, 1.5 years na sila sa karagatan. 90 years sila sa Pacific Ocean, wala silang pagkain, masyado, walang fresh water, pagod na pagod, uhaw na uhaw, hapong-hapo, di ba? Tapos ang nangyari, di ba, nakarating sila sa Pilipinas. At siguro kung natigok na sila doon, nategi na sila, wala na. Walang achievement of humankind. Walang circumnavigation of the world. Pero, naswertehan nila. Bakit? Kasi na-meet nila ang ating mga kababayan sa Giwan Eastern Samar, no? Sa may Humunhon. At doon ay, anong ginawa? Kahit hindi sila nagkaintindihan, pinakain po sila ng ating mga ninuno. Pinakain. So, nagpakita ng pakikipagkapwa-tao. Humanity. Now, of course, nung nagkakaintindihan silang dalawa, they discovered each other. You know, our guest, Feliz. Santa Maria always said, it's good that we put back on the yung conversation discovery. Kasi kahit papaano, the Spaniards and the Filipinos, during those first days of the Magellan expedition here, discovered themselves and their culture. And while they were trying to understand and discover each other, okay lang. Pero nung nakialam na si Magellan, alam nyo na kung ano yung nangyari sa kanya. Di ba? At doon nagtagumpay tayo at naipakita natin, malakas man ang ating mga kalaban, ay kung sa diskarte at sa ating puso ay pwede tayong magtagumpay. Kaya victory and humanity. Tagumpay at pakikipagkapwa-tao. So, dahil dyan, yung Road to 500, i-update tayo. Bibigyan kayo ng mga balita, bibigyan kayo ng iba't ibang mga kuro-kuro tungkol sa mga paghahanda natin at pagdiriwang dyan sa 2021 na yan. So, 4th episode na nga ho tayo at nagpapasalamat talaga tayo sa office ni Deputy Speaker Loren Legarda kasi may ganitong programa, no, na ng mga tao ay nai-inform at nagagamit yung kanyang stature. Oh, talaga naman. Kasi ilan lang po ang ating mga congresswoman, ang ating mga congressmen at mga politiko na talagang may pakialam sa ating kultura at talagang merong interest sa ating kultura. Kaya napakasalamat. At syempre, lagi kasama natin dito yung ating mga guests na mga eksperto din. No? So, sino ang mga kasama natin? They wrote based on archival documents. No? Itong ating mga kasama. Nagsulat ng napakaraming bagay. Inilapit ang kasaysayan ng pagkain. At ang kahalagahan nito sa ating pagkakakilanlan. Sa mga tao, sa kapwa niya Pilipino. O, yan ang kanyang achievement. At hindi lang basta-basta libro. Hindi lang basta-basta scholarship. Kailangan ang Pilipino, sabi nga ng isang politikong kilala ko, ang mga Pilipino ay gusto kagandahan. Kailangan maganda. Kaya yung libro niya hindi lang magaling, kundi maganda. Maraming mga libro na siyang naisulat na talagang mga coffee table at napakaganda, pleasing to the eyes, and exquisite. Mga culture books na talaga namang maipagmamalaki mo ang ganda ng ating kasaysayan at kultura at sasabihin mo, tulad ng pagkain Pilipino, ang sarap maging Pilipino. Mga kaibigan, magpugay po tayo kay Miss Feliz Prudente Santa Maria. Makasaysayang umaga, madam.
Morning! Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat, ma'am. At kasama din natin ngayon, ayun eh, tulad ng nabanggit ko, umaapaw sa kagandahan, mga kaibigan. Kasama natin ngayon, yung kanya pong book illustrator at yung kanyang painter doon sa kanyang aklat. No? And I'm sure she's unique and talented dahil siya lang naman ang pinili nga ni Ma'am Feliz na maging illustrator ng almost 400, 400 Philippine food and ingredients. At itong aklat na ito ay na-nominate sa prestigious 2020 Gourmand World Cookbook Awards sa field ng illustration and food heritage. So malaking bahagi po yung ginawa dito ng ating guest sa aklat ni Ma'am Feliz at sa tagumpay ng Pilipino. Tagumpay ng Pilipino yan. Her illustrated book is titled Kain Na! An Illustrated Guide to Philippine Food, which was co-written by, of course, Feliz Prudente Santa Maria. Here now is artist Mariel Ilagan Garcia. Makasaysayang umaga.
Hello po, good morning.
Iyon, o kita nyo naman. Something to look forward, this discussion, di ba? Something to look forward. Oo. And of course, hindi ko na ipapakilala yung sarili ko, kilala nyo na ako. Xiao Chua, de La Salle University, nagtuturo po sa La Salle at isang public historian. Now, meron lang bago tayo magsimula sa ating talakayan, Chairman Rene, pinapasalamatan kayo ni Deputy Speaker Loren Legarda kasi binigyan nyo daw ng pagkakataon ang magkaroon ng platform na ganito na tayo ay magkasama-sama. At yun na nga, ang first episode natin, nag-coincide dito sa Philippine-Spanish Friendship Day, pinag-usapan natin yung celebration next year. Yung second episode natin, walkthrough yan sa mga projects ng National Quincentennial Committee. So balikan nyo po lahat yan. Lalong-lalo na yung mga flagship project natin, yung Lapu-Lapu Memorial Shrine and Museum na sana matuloy, 'Diba? Panalangin natin 'yan. Pero yung tuloy na po ay mamarkahan po yung iba't ibang sites ng ng pag-ikot ni Magellan. So alam na natin 'yan. Hindi nga alam nung iba nasa Zamboanga pala ay napunta si Magellan o sa pala ay ang expedition ni Magellan patay na siya noon o kaya ay napunta sila pala sa Palawan, di ba? Hindi masyadong nalalaman yan. So ngayon mamangkahan lahat yung nadaanan nung first circumnavigation of the world kasi kahit napatay si Magellan nagpatuloy naman yun Okay? So nung August History Month ay ating pinag-usapan yung pakikipagkapwa-tao ng mga Pilipino, no? Kasi di ba nagbigay ng food sa Giwan ang ating mga ninuno kina Magellan na nagpatuloy hanggang sa mga White Russians, sa mga Jews noong World War II na binigyan natin sila ng tahanan dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? So, ito na po ang ating discussion. Bale, ako munang magsisimula ng ating discussion ngayon at mamaya susunod kong papakilala sa inyo si Ma'am Feliz at si Mariel. Okay. Ngayon, I just have to ask, nakikita niyo ba yung slide lang ito, buo? I have to... Ayan. So, habang hinihintay natin, ayan. Okay, Road to 500, A Taste of Asia. At ayan po nakikita nyo, yan po yung mga drawing ni Mariel. Napakaganda. Actually, nung binigyan ako ni Ma'am Feliz nung kain na, parang gusto kong kainin yung mga drawing. Magpasalamat po tayo sa ating mga ancestors na pinag-uusapan natin yung mga ninuno natin. Imagine niyo nung panahon na sila pa lang yung mga unang tumitikim ng pagkain. Imagine niyo, shout out to all the early humans who died figuring out which plants were edible. Diba? Parang trial and error ba yan, no? Ang dami siguro nagsakripisyo ng buhay na, ay, lason pala yun. Nalaman lang nila nung napatay na yung kanilang kasama. Huwag nyo nang kakainin yan. Huwag nyo nang kakainin yan. Hindi. Pero yeah, trial and error yan. You have to understand this. This meme, even if it's funny, gives us an idea of how for definitely many years, thousands of years, people are trying what food are okay to eat. Diba? We don't have to try that. All we eat now is, masarap. Diba? Now, of course, we go back to our ancestors. Kailangan natin makita na yung food, pagkain, ay ay napakahalagang bahagi ng kahit na sinong tao. Kahit na sinong lipunan. Kahit na sinong mga tao. Now, bakit? Sa ating lipunang Pilipino, ayon kay Carmen Peñalosa, tao ang sentral at kailangan tignan niyo yung konsepto ng ginhawa. So, tao ay sentro. At yung hayop at halaman, yan ay nagbibigay ng ginhawa sa tao. So, may tatlong klase ng nilalang. Tao, hayop po, halaman at aswang. Yung aswang nakakasira ng ginhawa. Yung hayop at halaman ay nagbibigay ng ginhawa. Sinong sentro? Tao. Tayo. So, mahalagang konsepto yung kaginhawaan na sa Pilipino, yan ang pinakagusto ng taong makatim. Hindi pagyaman. Pwedeng mayaman ka pero hindi ka maginhawa. At malaking bahagi ng kaginhawaan ay pagkain. Kaya nga, kung nag-aani ang mga tao, di ba kapag nag-aani, buhay, no? Ang ginhawa ay nagbibigay ng buhay. Ang pagkain ay nagbibigay ng buhay. At lagi sinasabi ng aking mentor na si Professor Vicente Villan, ang tatlong kalooban ng bayan ay buhay, ginhawa, at dangal. So kung ikaw ay kumakain, ikaw ay malusog, ikaw ay may buhay, kailangan mo rin ng dangal. Pero hindi maaalis dyan yung pagkain. So kaya nga, malaking pasalamat natin. Tayo ay nananalangin sa ating mga anito, sa Bathala. Inaalayan sila ng pagkain para magkaroon ng magandang ani. At kapag ka nagkaroon ng magandang ani, may mga ritual ang ating mga ninuno na sila ay nagdiriwang sa pamamagitan ng pagsasalo-salo ng pagkain. At may mga modern festivals tayo na yan ng diwa. Diba? Sa Quezon alone, in Quezon alone, suman lang ang pinag-uusapan. Suman. Ay may tatlong festival akong alam. Sa Bugan ng Biyaya sa Agdangan, Agawan ng Suman Festival sa Sariaya, tapos may Hagisan ng Suman pa. So, yan yung mga nakikita nyo na dahil sa masaganang ani, sinishare yung food. Nagiging parang social gathering. Nagiging glue siya ng ating lipunan. At syempre, alam natin na yung bagong Pahiyas Festival, halimbawa, bago lang yan, pero ang ano yan, ang roots niyan, matagal na. Sapagkat kapag anihan na at nagpapasalamat ang mga taga Lukban kay San Isidro Labrador, dinadala sa simbahan yung kanilang mga ani. Noong panahon pa ng mga Kastila, at yan ay dahil din, nung unang panahon, ganun din ang ginagawa nila bago pa dumating ang Katolisismo. So gumagawa sila ng pandekorasyon, nagawa sa kanin. At ito yung keeping. Akala nyo pag dekorasyon yan, di, kinakain po yan. In fact, nakakain na ako yan, ang tsalap-tsalap mga kaibigan. So, part siya ng ating mga awitin. Pag kumakanta tayo, di ba? Pag kumakanta tayo, dahil mahalaga ang pagkain, minsan kahit na ibang bagay yung pinag-uusapan natin, pagkain pa rin ang nasa isip natin. Tulad ng Bahay Kubo. Bahay Kubo ang kanta. Diba? Kahit munti ang halaman doon ay sari-sari. Singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani. Ha? Nakalimutan na yung bahay. Puro pagkain na yung nasa isip. E di sana pinangalanan na lang yan ang niluto kong bulang lang o kaya ang kinain kong pakbit. Diba? So, yung Bahay Kubo ay bahagi. At syempre marami tayong folk song tungkol sa yon, yung kung paano kumuha ng pagkain, paano mag-preserve ng pagkain, pagtanim ay di biro, maghapong nakayuko, di ba? Di naman nakaupo, di naman nakatayo, di ba? So, may mga ganyan. And yun na nga, pang-communicate siya sa mga gods, di ba? Thank you to the gods, di ba? At syempre, yun na nga, anong kinalaman ng pagkain sa Quincentenaryo? Kasi, di ba kanina naipaliwanag ko na kung bakit victory and humanity. Kasi nga, yung pakikipagkapwa-tao, naipakita natin nung dumating si Magellan dito at yung kanya mga kasama na hapong-hapo, hindi man sila magkaintindihan, anong ginawa? Di ba? Inalok agad ng pagkain. March 18, 1521. After a few days, nagbalik, 2 bangka ng pagkain ang ibinigay. So anong pagkain? Ito rin ay ginagamit para sa pakikipagkaibigan. Ito ay ginagamit ng ating mga ninuno para sa diplomasya. Para mag-establish ng mga relationships sa mga bayan-bayan. Diba? So yung pakikipagkapwa-tao nila, lalo na sa pagbubuo ng mga bayan. Diba? Kapag gusto nila makipagsandugo sa mga dato, siguradong may pagkain na pinag-uusapan dyan. Kahit nung nagsanduguan ang sina Magellan, sina Legazpi sa ating mga ninuno, may pagkain na dinescribe si Pigafetta sa mga pagkainan ng mga hari. At hindi lang pagkain, pati alak pa. Ang lakas daw ng toleration sa alak, hindi daw nalalasing yung mga dato at saka yung mga ninuno natin. So, yan yung makikita natin. So, paano ba naghihirap yung mga ninuno natin sa pagkuha ng pagkain, pag-consume ng pagkain? Reflected lahat yan. In fact, ang simulan ng Spanish na contact natin, pagkain ang inalay natin. Yung end of Spanish colonization, yung pag sa baler, yung paglabas sa baler nung 1 taon na nagkutak na mga Kastila, nung lumabas sila at sumuko sa mga Katipunero, sumuko sa Republika ng Pilipinas, anong binigay sa kanila ng ating mga ninuno? Pagkain. Pinakain sila, tinato ng mabuti. So, nakita nyo yun? Yung ating pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga Kastila, di ba? Ay ganun pa rin. No? Una, pagkain. Pangalawa, tinundukan natin, pagkain pa din. In fact, sabi ni Jaime Veneracion at ng mga accounts ng Katipunan, ang simula ng revolusyon, yung unang sigaw ng himagsikan, nagpakain din si Tandang Sora. Libo-libong tao ang nandun, pero pinakatay niya ang kanyang mga hayop, pinasaing ang kanyang mga bigas para kumain ang mga tao bago lumaban para sa ating kalayaan. Diba? So yung mga social movements natin, EDSA Revolution, pinakain din natin ang ating mga sundalo nung panahon na yon. May nag-birthday pa, nagpamigay ng sandwich, 'di ba? Nag-birthday si Guido sa EDSA dahil wala daw siyang birthday party, busy daw yung nanay niya, punta ng EDSA, sabi ng nanay ni Guido sa kanya, "Anak, huwag kang mag-alala. bukas na bukas din, bibigyan kita ng pinakamalaking birthday party sa buong mundo. Ayaw, binigyan ng bata ng malaking birthday party. At yung tulong-tulungan para makakain ng lahat, nakikita natin yan sa mga social movements para sa ating kalayaan. So, kung titignan ninyo mga kaibigan, no? Yung ating pag-atim ng buhay, ginhawa at dangal. At nakasalig ito sa pagbibigay ng pagkain at pagkain bilang tanda ng samahan, tanda ng pakikipagkapatiran, ay napakahalagang bahagi ng ating lipunan. Sabi ng anthropologist na si Sidney Mintz sa kanyang aklat na Sweetness and Power, alam nyo, hindi na natin ito masyadong nararamdaman kasi fast food na tayo ngayon. Ang daming delata, pwede mong kainan instantly. So parang nafe-feel nyo na lang yung pag kumakain kayo, nagkakasama-sama kayo. But before that, even the way of preparing the food is something of a community thing. Hindi na natin yan masyadong nararamdaman ngayon. Paano nagkakasama-sama ang pamilya? Prepare the food. Paano nagkaka-ugnay-ugnay ang mga magkakapitbahay? Prepare the food. Kaya ang Pilipino, hindi natin minamasama. May ibang scholar sinasabi lang, the fiesta mentality makes Filipinos poor. I disagree. Oh? Ang pista, ang maraming pagkain ay hindi lamang para magpayabang sa mga pamilya o sa ibang tao, sa mga bisita. Ang maraming pagkain, mga kaibigan, ay pagbibigay ng pasasalamat sa bathala para sa isang masaganang pamumuhay. Kaya hanggang ngayon, ang mga pagkain, 'di ba? Ay kahit na sa panahon ng pandemya minsan nakakamiss. Pero sana magkaroon ng panahon na magkasama-sama tayong muli na kumain, 'di ba? At muli ay sariwain ng ating pagkakaibigan at pagkabuklod-buklod, 'di ba? Upang ipagdiwang ang ating buhay, ginhawa at dangal. Maraming salamat po. So, yan mga kaibigan. At makikita nyo na talagang bahagi ng ating pagkatao ang pagkain. Kaya hindi ko na yan patatagalin, di ba? Pero paalala yan sa atin na sa kasaysayan natin, nakita ninyo gaano pinahahalagahan ng pagkain. Abay, huwag tayong mag-aksaya ng pagkain. Di ba? Ipapahalagahan natin ang mga sakahan, ang lupa at tubig, ang kagubatan na mga kayamanan ng ating bansa. Yan ay advokasya ng ating Congresswoman Deputy Speaker Loren Legarda. Di ba? Ang ganda ng konsepto na yan, buhay, ginhawa at dangal. Natural, organic. At ngayon naman, ang gagawin natin, lagyan natin ng laman. Kasi ako nagpapanggap lang naman ako dito na alam ko ang history of food. At talagang may alam dito mga kaibigan. Wala akong iba kundi si Ma'am Feliz. So I'll go to Ma'am Feliz. Hello Ma'am Feliz.
Hello.
You have written wonderful books that the Filipino youth and school children have access to. At madalas nga, ang mga books na ito, nakikita ni Secretary Loren, ni Deputy Speaker Loren sa mga embassies at offices ng mga government no? Officials at mga embahada natin. So, ang gaganda naman talaga. So, nasabi rin sa kanya ni Chairman na meron kang gagawing aklat. And in fact, kwento mo nga sa akin. Meron kang aklat na ginagawa para sa National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Ano po ito? Kumusta siya?
Ay, nako. Iyan, baka pwede ninyong ipakita yung aking mga slides sa question 1 para malaman ng ating mga nanonood. Yan. Okay. Ito po yung pangalan ng libro na ginagawa ko po para sa NHCP. Pigafetta's Philippine Picnic. Ito yung mga encounters during the first circumnavigation, no? Yung 3 taon na they were trying to find the Moluccas and get back, no, to Spain. Ang sunod natin, makikita ninyo na they were called the Armada of the Moluccas. Kasi po, ang pinapahanap sa kanila talaga ay rota. galing Spain, paano makakapunta kung saan talaga yung biggest source of cinnamon? Yung sa taas, makikita ninyo sa may Chinese compass, yung parang siya mga maliliit na lumpia, yung rolls, yan ang cinnamon. Tapos sa baba, meron yung mukha siyang nails, yan ang clove na napakamahal. Tapos yung ovoid, yun ang nutmeg. At sa taas naman ng nutmeg, yun yung black pepper na minsan ginagamit natin din sa ating mga adobo. So, nung umalis si Magellan, yun ang hahanapin niya. Saan talaga yan? Where is the biggest supply and the quickest route for the Spanish going west? Pinagbawalan sila dumaan ng India. So, punta sila bandang Amerika. Ngayon, ang nakatapos ng kanyang circumnavigation ay sa baba, iyon, si Elcano. When Elcano returned in 1522, binigyan po siya ng kanyang escutcheon, kanyang coat of arms. So nakikita po ninyo dyan yung coat of arms. So look at the bottom part, yung sa may dilaw. Yan ang spices. Yung exe, gawa po yan ng cinnamon. Tapos may mga nutmeg. Tapos yung nakalibot, yung lumilibot dyan, yun ang clove. No? Now, let's see what is the difference between the approach that I'm giving to Pigafetta's kwento. No? Ito po, hunger is really the language that they were talking about in the book. Yung palagi silang gutom. Maski ano yung pinaghandaan nila for the 5 boats. At ang laki-laki po ng budget nila for the food. Pero pangit talaga yung pagkain noon sa mga barko. No? Puros mga tapa, ganon. No? Pangit talaga. So they were always hungry. And the story of Pigafetta was actually a listing of what provisions, what fresh food could you get from the time you left Sevilla to the time you crossed the Americas, crossed the Pacific, went to Asia, and went back to Spain. Saan po yung mga sources of fresh water, firewood, and food. O, tignan po natin yung sunod. Ang libro po natin ay really for not just the Philippine reader, but for an international reader also, kasi pinasa ko yung ibang interpretations of Pigafetta's story. Sabi ko parang hindi nila nakukuha na yung pagkain ang talaga nasa center ng kanyang records. So, our book, our Philippine book, I don't say this is my book. Sa akin, this is a Philippine contribution to the global celebration. So our contribution from the Philippines includes explaining how important the food situation was to the circumnavigation. Tapos, syempre, iba yung pagkain na yun. Dahil sinasabi ni Xiao, I mean, puro fast food ang iniisip na natin, no? Iba ang panahon noon. Mahirap minsan yung pag-aaralan natin, yung mga panahon noon, pero ang ginagamit natin ay mata na ngayon. So we show the comparison between European and Asian foods during the 1500s. Tapos, yun, nakikita natin, ano ba yung pagkain natin in the Philippines in 1521. Yung sunod, napansin ko din, medyo ito this is not given a lot of attention. And tamang-tama, ang ating motto is what? Victory and humanity. Ano siya? Parang coincidence, happy coincidence, na yung 1519, di palabas na, the Magellan expedition was leaving Spain. Ano pang nangyari nung taon na yan na sobrang importante sa kasaysayan? Yung Dominican priest, yung retrato dyan, yung si Father de las Casas, 1519, nag-a-appear na siya sa court. And sabi niya sa king, you know, Your Highness, we are now exposed to so many different kinds of people. We want our Spanish kingdom to be the Holy Roman Empire that is going to dominate the entire world. But you know, it doesn't seem like we are applying our sense of religion to our sense of politics and our sense of colonization. Sabi niya, sasabihin po natin na we converted the Indios in America. Paano natin kinonvert? We threatened them with death. Pinatay pa natin yung iba. And that's how we made them Christians. Your Highness, parang hindi po tama na. Now, that was in 1519. That was a seed. That was a seed, a new idea that strangers, they have a different kind of culture. How do we react to them? Little by little, by the end of the 20th century, what did that seed become? It became the concept of respect for cultural difference. What else did it become? It evolved to mature into the sense of basic, fundamental human rights. Maski iba-iba ang itsura natin, iba-iba ang kulay natin, iba-iba ang mga relihiyon natin, we are still people, and people should be respected. So, importante yun. Yung 1519. Tapos, dinagdagan ko po yan. Yung meron tayong isang dictionary ng Bisaya na ano siya Bisaya Espanyol. So this is the first English translation of those culinary terms. So yun yung nasa libro po natin na yan ang regalo po ng Pilipinas sa circumnavigation event, no? So, yan yung ating Pigafetta's Philippine Picnic. Yung mga detalye mamaya-maya pa yan.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Feliz, no? At gusto ko lang ipaalala sa lahat, no? Pinaalala sa atin ng ating secretariat ngayon na si Ginong Ian Alfonso, no? Napakahalaga ng papel ni Ian para sa pambansang quincentenaryo. Na ngayon pala, ang 498th anniversary, ngayon mismo araw na ito, mga kaibigan. 498th anniversary ng completion ng circumnavigation. Nakabalik sa Seville on this day yung mga natitira doon sa Barkong Victoria. So parang napakahalagang araw din at nagkataon ang panahon na ito. Yes, corrected by. At ngayon, ma'am, at napakahalaga din, sasamahan na po tayo ngayon ng ating minamahali, ginagalang, ang ating Deputy Speaker at representative from the Lone District of Antique. My great honor and privilege to present to everyone the Deputy Speaker Loren Legarda. Makasaysayang umaga, ma'am.
Isang makasaysayang umaga, isang luntiang umaga sa ating lahat. Natutuwa ako. Actually, online na ako kanina but I was multitasking at natutuwa ako sa presentasyon ng aking matagal nang kilala at kaibigan at hinahangaan na si Feliz Prudente Santa Maria. Ang napakaganda ng kanyang mga aklat at marami pa akong gusto sabihin sa kanya pero dediretso na muna ako sa mga ginagawa mong mga aklat na binabanggit ng NCCA at ng NHCP. Feliz, ito ba ay makakamit ng mga nag-Facebook na nakikinig sa atin ngayon? Kasi hindi ka naman nasabing masyadong highbrow, pero ito ba'y commercially available at saka online? At pangalawa, natutuwa ako sa presentasyon na ginawa ni Professor Xiao. Alam nyo, whether it's Feliz or Mariel or Cherene, who may not join us now, but is with us also with the NHEP, this professor is able to simplify, communicate, operationalize in everyday terms yung mga mahihirap intindi na kasaysayan. Pero anyway, back to Feliz. Natutuwa ako, when you look the same from 20 years ago, alam nyo, kami ni Feliz, when I used to go out a lot, but of course in the period of pandemic, hindi na, but even before COVID, I used to see her a lot, and she looks the same from the last time, many years ago that I've seen her. But anyway, yung kain na, and the book that you do together, paano nyo pinapagtagpi-tagpi ang ating kasaysayan ng ating bansa sa kasaysayan ng ating pagkain at kasaysayan ng mga sumakop sa atin at mga bumisita sa atin. At pangalawa, itong ating pinag-uusapang kahalagahan ng ating pagkain ay ano ang itong relevance sa panahon ng pandemya, sa panahon ng paghahanda sa 500 years which is next year, sa pagdalo ng mga bisita nating Portuges at Kastila noong 500 years ago. Maraming tanong, no, Feliz? Pero sanay ka na sa akin. Maraming tanong at magaling naman kayong lahat sumagot kasama na si Professor Xiao. Baliktad na po ang panahon ngayon. Noong nagsimula po kami, ako nagpapakilala kay Che Rene at kay Professor Xiao. Ngayon po, salamat Professor Xiao, pag ako'y multitasking at may committee hearings kasi ngayon sabay-sabay, kaya mo na mag-isa. Sa totoo lang. Kaya mo. Kulang ang 3 oras sa'yo. Okay. So, Feliz, could you tell us please the importance of our culinary history, if that's the right word, and the books that you've done, are they readily available? And how do we document the 500 years in terms of food connected to rituals, connected to the music, and connected to our intangible heritage? Paano natin gagawin yun? Ayan. Feliz.
Siguro, unang gawin natin, Lauren, I love you. I love you. Thank you for all the help, by the way, that you've been giving the National Museum and the NCCA. It's only now that I get to say that publicly. Thank you.
Before you start, mutual admiration. I've admired her long before. I think 1980s or 90s when I was a young journalist. But anyway, she's an icon in history and alam mo, kailangan regular dito si Feliz Professor Xiao. Sige, anyway, continue, Feliz. Okay.
Oh, sige, wait. Where is our dear Ian? Ian, paki naman, yung slide natin ng what is the scope of food history. I think yun ang una natin sasabihin, no? Kasi ang akala ng most people believe that food history is yung origin of a food. Kunyari, where did Pansit Malabon start? No? Mga ganyan. Or yung recipe tracking. Ano yung pinakalumang recipe for a particular dish? Or paano na iba-iba yung mga recipe natin? Or yung iba sinasabi nila, yung sinasabi nating delicious, yung masarap, yung malinamnam. What is the history of all of the attempts to satisfy that, no? But food history goes beyond that. And I think if we understand the scope of food history, we'll realize why it fits in very importantly into our appreciation for culture, and especially the intangible culture, no? So food is definitely, I always say this to the children especially, that food is the history of nature. Everything we eat comes from nature. So if we have anything polluted, the water, the air, the rain, the soil, damay po yung ating kinakain. Which is why all these efforts by our legislators, like our Deputy Speaker, importante po yung attention to the ecosystem, to the balance of the ecosystem. Importante po yung agrikultura. We need to look into agriculture, husbandry, fishing. All of these fit together because they make up the history of food. We cannot separate the history of nature from the history of food. And the history of food is also part of the history of inventions. Dati, can you imagine if today, like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, every day we want to cook, we have to rub 2 sticks, hoping that we will create a flame? Now we have induction ovens. LPG, no? So the kitchen provides a lot of inventions to make life more easy, more efficient. Tapos, yung innovation. It is a history of innovation. Nako, ang Filipino, pag meron diyang ubi, anong nangyari sa ubi natin? Meron ng ubi cake, may ubi tikoy, may ubi ice cream. We innovate with what we have around us. It proves what a creative people we are. We know how to respond to our surroundings. We know how to create the changes we like and hopefully get rid of the things we don't like. That's part of history, no? Tapos, kasama po din sa food history yung fighting hunger. Kaya that is pivotal to the story of Pigafetta. Tapos, as Xiao was explaining, you cannot separate food and its role in celebrating. Food and friendship. Food bringing happiness. Nako, yan, very important. Okay, hindi pa. Next slide, please, Ian. So, ito yung ating NCCA, no? What is culture? So, culture is how a society lives. And history chronicles kung ano yung parang constant, yung gusto natin maging traditions, heritage, no? Yung ayaw natin mawala. Pinagmamahal natin yan. So, we don't want to lose it. But it also chronicles changes. Why do we have changes? Are these changes we brought on ourselves? Are these changes that we had to respond to? So food is one way to show how we Filipinos, we as a society, handle the challenges to having constancy, to having traditions, heritage, but also the changes we want to feed our people. And here, we feed the body, we feed the spirit, and we feed the social self. That's going to be my parting story. We feed the social self. Take a look at the next slide. There's some pictures. So, you see our food history is not stagnant. It's always changing. We can track the food from the time of Pigafetta and Kano and Magellan, and then bring it all the way up to the American period and today. So hindi lang po deliciousness, kung hindi what is healthy, what is nutritious, and what is ecologically friendly. Kasama na po lahat yan. So that is the value of food history to culture in general. Ayun.
Great.
So,
Tell us, binanggit mo ang pansit, binanggit mo ang adobo, binanggit nyo ang iba't ibang pagkain natin. Alam ko na sa kasaysayan, sabihin natin sa 500 taon, kaya ba natin itakda sino ang nagpakilala ng halo-halo or anong parte ng ating kasaysayan unang kinain ng Pilipino ang halo-halo? Anong parte ng ating kasaysayan nagsimula ang pansit at iba't ibang klase ng pansit? Ano ang mga pagkain na pinakain na sinulat ni Pigafetta na pinakain sa ating mga dayuhang bisita nung panahong yon? At ano naman ang mga pagkain na dala nila sa kanilang pagpunta sa Giwan Samar, for example, at sa pag-ikot niya sa Balabac o sa iba't ibang lugar na tinahak ng landas ng ating mga bisitang Europeo? Masyado bang mahirap i-trace yung culinary history na yan? So, kasi parang iniisip natin, ito ba ay mga, kumbaga sa halaman, pasensya na dahil yun ang aking field, no? Let's say, native trees.
yes.
Itong mga pagkain, anong masasabi natin native Philippine cuisine na hindi introduced? Ibig sabihin, kumbaga sa halaman ulit, native, endemic, indigenous. So,
Yes.
ano ba ang native, endemic, indigenous sa Philippine cuisine? At yan sa ating kasaysayan nagsimula or ano naman ang na-introduce ng Kastila, ng Portuges, ng iba't ibang mga dayuhan na sumakop sa atin o bumisita sa atin.
That's right. Maaari ang gawin. Napakahirap gawin, Loren. At yan ang dahilan nung when I retired, I said I'm going to really focus on food history. In fact, yung iba, pag gusto ninyong malaman more in detail, all these questions of the Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Speaker.
Loren na lang, Feliz. Okay.
Sige, sanay ako sa Loren talaga. Okay. Tawag nito, meron akong IG post. At yung IG post na yan, maraming detalya.
Ay, gusto ko yan.
Yes, and I have been able to track, and I am continuing to track, food from 1515 all the way to 1949. Wow. So yan, lalabas yung iba nito sa isang libro, also by RPD Publications that did Kain na. That's hopefully coming out this year. Tapos yung mga bagong research that cannot fit into the book. Di ba ganun naman you really cannot put everything in one book. Yung iba po sa IG na yan. So it's out in the public. It also gets shared in Facebook. But allow me here to show you why Pigafettas, yun yung mga sinasabi mo, yung mga pansit and all of that. That's much later, much later. I'd like to share why Pigafettas story is very, very important to Philippine food history. Gaya nito, ano yung ating Philippine food history sources bago dumating si Pigafetta? At ano ang sinabi nito? Anong isinulat? What was written in these sources about Philippine food? The earliest that we're sure was about a Philippine area, Philippine territory, is 1225. Yun po ay a Chinese source. So nasa Mindoro. And we now are sure, first mentioned ito, that there was coconut in the Philippines. We also know there was onion, pero hindi yung sibuyas na puti or pula. Hindi, a different kind of onion which we are trying to track. And it's very likely a Chinese type of onion, no? Tapos yung sweet potato. Yung sweet potato na yan, that is where we need help from agriculture historians. Kasi sweet potato is supposed to be yung kamote. Di ba po, ang alam natin yan, kamote, the word is from an Aztec word. So siguro naman yung mga kamote natin galing sa Spanish era. Baka hindi po Wala pa yung mga Kastila, wala pa po yung mga Portugeso noong 1225 dito sa Asia. There is a possibility, maybe yung ating mga Polynesians, they were very good sailors, baka dala nila from South America, dinala dito naman sa insular Southeast Asia. But earlier pa po than that, I have tracked that there was sweet potato in India. From 1 BC up to 5 AD, there was poetry that mentioned sweet potato. So nauna pa siya from the earliest archaeological finds. The archaeological finds in India for sweet potato are now older. That's new findings. Then the sweet potato archaeological finds in Central America. Akala kasi po natin na yung sweet potato, yung endemic, yung sinasabi ni Loren na endemic, that it started, point of origin niya was between Mexico and Venezuela. Hindi pa po natin alam ngayon, may panibago, maybe it was somewhere on the east side of India. So tignan po ninyo, when you get a historical source, biglang paano nangyari yan? Bakit may sweet potato? Bakit may kamote na? So, that's 1225. The next source, 1349. Yun, sinasabi may rice wine po tayo at may sugarcane. And the next slide, please. Ian, here we go. 1515, that there was honey and lots of honey in Luzon. Pero yun po lang ang ating sources, historical sources known as of today bago dumating si Pigafetta. Yun lang ang sigurado natin. So let's quickly go to ano ang mga broad strokes, contributions of Pigafetta. For the first time, meron po tayong description kung anong kinakain. Bandang Samar, Cebu, Palawan, Northern Mindanao, Cebu. That should be Sulu, no? Not Cebu again. Tapos, meron pa siyang word list. Meron pa siyang word list. He has 40 words related to food in Cebu. He confirms that, yes, food could be bartered, food could be given as gifts. Filipinos were all right to eat foreign food. Iimbitahan sila to dine on the boat on Magellan. They were willing. They had dinner on the boat of Magellan. Tapos, yun, confirm po rin na meron tayong food and ritual. Written confirmation with a date po ito. Napakahalaga po ito. Next set, we also know that, the next slide, Iho, Ian, where are we? That food was shared with strangers. Yung gaya yung kinikwento ni Siam, no? Tapos meals greeted strangers. Ito, this is written evidence. Kaya napakahalaga ang Pigafetta to the Philippines, to food history. Tapos yung dulan is defined there as a wooden platter. In other parts of insular Southeast Asia, the dulang is an offertory plate. Hindi lang siya platter, talagang for offertory. And then now, if we think of dulang, yung magmahabang dulang, we have the low tables, and that is what we call a dulang. Ito din, meron siyang first drinking custom for guests. Naku, ayaw kong gawin, nakakatawa. So you have to raise your hands up and then whatever. Tapos, he affirms that rice was cultivated, food foraged, fished, and hunted. So, yun ang broad strokes. Kung wala yung libro ni Pigafetta, wala tayo nito. We have no confirmation. So that's that's part of it, no? That's part of the importance of the history, the value of Pigafetta. And then, of course, we'll get into more details, no? So in other words, alam natin that that is all that was going on in 1521. Notice, there's no tomato yet, no mention of tomato, no mention of adobo.
Bahay kubo vegetables, meron na ba tayo nun?
Not all of them. Kasi may listahan na rin ako, naglilista ako. In the book that's coming out, meron akong listahan, let's say, yung kay Pigafetta, tapos meron akong listahan from the 1700s, tapos may listahan from the 1800s, tapos may listahan from 1900s. So, kitang-kita yung documentation of our accepting new botanicals and new cooking procedures. Hindi lang po yan galing sa Spain or Mexico or Portugal, China. There were plants that wouldn't grow here, maski anong gawin nila. So they would not seed. So we would have to get, for instance, onion. We couldn't get the onion to seed. So we would have to get new onion from Ternate, from Indonesia, from Ternate, which was at the time there was a Spanish settlement, a garrison there. So every so many years, we have to get the onion from Ternate to plant in the Philippines so that we have fresh onion. See, ang ganda din ng kwento because it also shows that pag wala dito, hanap tayo. Then we bring it home and we do the best we can.
Felice, perhaps at this point, you could introduce to us, I'm sure she was introduced earlier by Professor Xiao, your illustrator that you've been working with all these years. And in fact, was it mentioned that your book has been nominated in the World Cookbook Awards? Is this correct? Wow, this book was nominated in the prestigious 2020 Gourmand World Cookbook Awards in the field of illustration and food heritage. And we have your illustrator of the books that you've done, Mariel Ilagan Garcia. Has she spoken? Hindi pa kanina, no?
Not yet. Alam mo, si Mariel, she is a very talented young artist.
Yes.
Tapos, ang maganda nito, so here I am with all the old history. And then we have a Singaporean co-author, si Brian Ko. He's a food adventurer, food traveler. Eto na si Mariel, ang bata. She's the young one. And she's the young one who can give the traditional foods a different look, a more contemporary look. So that is Mariel. And this is her very first illustrated book. So we're very happy to have her on board.
Okay.
Meron pa siyang ibang ginagawa ngayon.
Gusto ko makilala si Mariel at piece together how are you able to visualize and illustrate it to make it more interesting to the viewers and readers and make it palatable, so to speak. May we hear from Mariel. Hello, Mariel.
Baka nagsiyang si Mariel.
Baka na-offline. Na-offline sa akin. Okay.
Pero alam nyo, ma'am, kwento ko lang, Ma'am Lauren, na apparently, ito palang si Mariel ay related kay Maria Ilagan Orosa. We only know her as the Orosa Street, pero siya yung nag-invento ng banana ketchup and was a war hero. No? Namatay siya nung panahon ng giyera. She died of shrapnel and while Manila was being liberated. So parang food history.
Yes, our talented illustrator, is she still a millennial? Yes, is a descendant of the great Maria Ilagan Orosa. I know Maria Orosa as a road because I grew up in Assumption, Iran, in Manila, in the Malate district. Yes, that's where I was in the 1960s during my grade school years. So I know Maria Orosa as a road. So Mariel, our illustrator, the illustrator of Feliz, our talented young lady with us. Hello, Mariel. Tell us about your lineage, about your grandmother, and you're correct, Professor Shao, the inventor of the banana ketchup? Yes.
Opo. Hello po. Good morning po.
Okay. Hi. I would like to hear you speak. Okay.
Thank you for having me po, Miss Lauren. Hello po. Yes po, our clan, Ilagan clan, we all came from Taal. Our roots is from Taal. And my grandfather, Lauro Ilagan, is Maria Orosa's nephew. So technically, I'm Maria Orosa's great-grandniece. So...
Okay, tell us, from your lineage, paano ka naging illustrator? At paano ang hamon? What is the challenge of all the information being given to you by academics, by experts, by professors, and then you convey it through your art, through illustrations? Ang hirap nun, to simplify something. Okay, tell us about it.
Upon signing the contract with RPD po, they give me the list from Miss Feliz. So, the list po, kasama po siyang description per dish. So, pinag-aralan ko po siya per dish kung ano po yung mga ingredients, yung mga dapat po visible sa illustration. So, I need to render it kung mas sauce po or oily. Kailangan ko pong ma-pull off siya with watercolor kasi hand-painted po lahat. So, dapat po magmukha siyang masarap and enticing.
Okay, example. I'd like to see the workflow between a historian like Feliz, even a professor like Shao, and then lahat ng impormasyon, mo, parang, tapos ginagawa mong illustration from watercolor, right, Mariel?
Yes,
Ilang dito ng impormasyon ang binibigay sa'yo or ini-email sa'yo, tapos i-simplify mo sa isang pinta. Paano yun?
Bale, ang ginagawa ko po, per chapter po nila pinapadala sa akin yung manuscript. So, piniprint out ko po, hina-highlight ko kung alin po yung mga na-illustrate ko na, ganun po yung proseso ko from their manuscript.
Your illustration, can you show us, please?
Yes po. It's with Sir Ian po.
Sige, patingin nga para maintindihan namin yung simplification. But it's not simple. Kasi talaga, communication is so difficult. Sa mga haba at dami ng mga research ni Feliz na malalami sa mga ilang centuries ago, how do you illustrate that?
Simplify.
Okay, Marielle, show us please. How old are you, Marielle?
I'm 25 years old po.
I am so happy to have a 25-year-old with us.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, Marielle.
Teka.
So, we have the slide po with Sir Ian. I made a slide po.
Sige, patingin natin.
I think we lost Ian.
Is he with NHEP or my staff?
Yeah, NHCP.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. If we lost him, he'll find us later. So,
Okay. Ayan na, he's back. He's back. So, he's back. So, we just need the illustrations of Marielle.
Okay. You know, in the virtual world, may I say this? People should be quicker, more alert, mindful, and technology and connectivity should be up to par. Okay.
Yeah, true.
So,
Yeah.
this is our book, Kain Na, with Miss Feliz and Sir Brian under RPD Publications. And inside our book, the edibles recorded by Antonio Figafetta. We have here like the bananas, coconut, just like what's included from Miss Feliz's talk. So here are the dishes, the samples. There.
Wow.
Coconut wine, rice wine, tubak wine. These are all hand painted po.
Parang kahit yung sa libro, sarap kainin din talaga no?
Oo.
Sobrang pressured po ako dyan kasi I need to pull it off na mukha siyang enticing sa eyes. Kasi syempre Pinoy food, I'm representing Philippines. Dapat,
Right.
di ba?
Ang ginamit mo dito ay watercolor.
Opo, watercolor po.
Watercolor on paper?
Yes po, watercolor on paper po.
Okay. Proceed. Can we see the others?
There. Coconut wine, rice wine.
Sige.
Ito lang sa rice wine. Yung container ng rice wine, anong klaseng halaman o weed ang ginagamit sa takip na ito?
I think it's rattan.
Aratan. O sige. Is that decorative or meron niyang ibig sabihin for rice wine? Kasi kita mo, coconut and tuba, wala. Pero sa rice wine, meron siya. Is this decorative, Feliz, or meron siyang silbi? Okay. Anyway, so are you online, Feliz? I was wondering, magandang takip ng rice wine, and I see this in some of the bottles in the provinces.
Yes.
Is it really decorative, or I'm not sure if it's rattan, but yes, it may look like rattan, but we can actually use other weeds or plants. Sa mga ifugao, ganyan din. Naglalagay sila ng takip sa kanilang mga bote.
That's right. I think originally all of the baskets around the baskets around breakables are part of a way of keeping them secure. And then if you're packing several different types of breakables, the basketry helps when you're transporting them. I think that's one universal use of basketry around a breakable. It could be a bottle, it could be a glass bottle, it could be a vessel made of clay, anything that's breakable.
Okay.
I think what's very interesting is how something for function, let's say like that, to protect a bottle from breaking,
Yes.
becomes beautiful, becomes ornamentally beautiful.
You're correct, Feliz. It is not just decorative, but you're correct. Now I understand. It keeps the bottle from breaking because there's a support. Tama ka. At the same time, for me, it is an art form because ang ganda niya eh. It is an art form. And it connects nature to an innovation. What do I mean?
Correct.
Because the weed, or whether it's from rattan or tikog or abaca or barrio, whatever basketry, you combine it with an innovation of rice becoming wine. Innovation na yan, di ba? Oo. Convergence, if you may. So
Exactly.
it's
Yun
art.
ang sinasabi kong history of food
Yes.
is history of innovation and invention. Exactly like what you're saying.
I love what you said. That's why that resonates very well with me. I've always said that when we take care of nature, and nature is our biodiversity, flora and fauna, our plants and our trees and our flowers, that's our food, whether terrestrial or marine. When we take care of the environment, it will take care of us. And so what we're doing now is we are tracing our history of the 500 years from the arrival of Magellan, not only looking at it from the historical perspective, but broadening our understanding of history to understand humankind and Filipinos who had a very rich history pre-arrival in 1521. That's why the food, the culture, the rituals, the songs, the basketry even, the textiles, and the micro-enterprises as we know existed long before 1521. But we are tracing now in this road to 500 from 1521 up to 2021. And that will include this year of pandemic. So from the arrival in 1521, ano ang mga pagkain? Ayan. So back na, mahaba na ako magkwento para na ako si Professor Xiao. O sige. We go back to Mariel and there's a millennial who is with us. Show us more about your watercolor paintings, of the illustration of the research of Feliz Santa Maria. Okay.
Ito po, these are the meat recorded by Antonio Figafetta. We have chicken, goat, crab, oysters. These are all included inside kain na po. There, next slide please. We have the rice cakes like this budbod kabog, tinola, of course, and ihaw. And next slide po. This humba, this is my favorite dish among all the illustrations I did for
Nagugutom
kain
din
na.
ako. Gusto ko rin na humba. Saan ako makakuha ng humba ngayong tanghalian? Okay.
Ayun po. And lechon. Lechon. During in 1521, lechon, Magellan even brought 2 pigs in the ship for Easter. Yeah, that time.
Yun ang gusto ko malaman. Teka, pause tayo dyan. Yung lechon Bisaya. Okay, di ba walang sauce sa Cebu? Ang tanong ko, Philip, dinala ni Magellan ang baboy. Pero, hindi natin masasabi na ang lechon ay introduced na pagkain ng mga Portuges at Kastila. Dahil naglelechon na tayo bago pa man sila dumating. Tama? Or sila ba ang nagturo sa atin ng paglelechon, ginagamit ang mga baboy na dala nila? Feliz.
Well, what we're sure of is that there was roast pork. We're very positive. As to how it was roasted, that is still a mystery, no?
Pero ang lechon, Pilipino yan. Hindi yan binigay ni Magellan sa atin. Oo.
No. Kaya nga, we already had, Bigafetta makes a list of the different foods that were available in the Philippines when they got here. There was already pig. Yon, gaya yung sinabi ni Mariel, there was wild pig that you could hunt, and there was also domesticated pig. There was wild boar. Yung mga yan, native na sa atin. Yung pork. Alam po natin there was no pig in the Americas. So that had to be introduced by the Spanish because they wanted their lechon. But when they got to Asia, thankfully, there were foods like pork that they were familiar with. So as to whether...
Yes, bakit why did they bring their own pigs?
No. Let's how do you call this? We go backwards again. On the voyage, you're correct. They brought their own pigs, Loren. Totoo yan. They brought pigs and they brought cows. Okay. That was when they left Sevilla. They brought pigs and they brought cows on the 5 ships in order to have fresh food. Kakatayin po nila yan on board. No? But then when they got to the American continent, wala na ang chicken. Wala na. Hindi siya endemic dyan. Hindi siya na-indigenize pa. No chicken, no pork, no beef. Ang kinakain nila dyan, they thought it was a fish. They were eating penguin. I know, when I read it, I said, that's happy feet. How can you eat happy feet, the penguin? And then they were eating seal. But that was what was being eaten in those areas. So when they crossed sa atin, nakarating na sila sa Guam, Philippines, I'm sure they were ecstatic that they found pork. The first thing they found was pork.
I will clarify. On board were cows and pigs. Is that correct?
Originally, and then they killed all of them. So by the time they got to us, there were no more live animals on board.
But then we had cows and pigs.
No cows.
Wala pang cow sa Pilipinas noon?
Apparently, wala pa. If at all, maybe in some areas, pero hindi listed. The Spanish king, in fact, gave a budget in order to bring Spanish cows into the Philippines along with Spanish horses. Meron tayong fecha, ha? We have the date of that.
Pero meron tayong kalabaw. Maaring walang baka, walang cow, pero may kalabaw.
Right. Now, of course, what we're trying to figure out is in the records of Pigafetta, we will find that when he gets into the Indonesian territory, there is carabao and there is cattle. So, did some of that get up into southern Philippines? Pigafetta doesn't mention it. So, tansya ko, wala. I'm sure he was wanting to have a cow to make katay. Instead, all they had was pig and chicken and goat.
Okay. Yeah. Let's look at the other illustrations of Mariel.
Ang ginawa po ni Mariel, when we get to her, no? Ang ginawa ni Mariel, we don't know exactly how the pig was cooked. We don't know how the roast was roasted. Mariel got foods of today that might have been cooked then. Yan. Oh, so si lechon.
Yan.
Oh, yan. Oh, ano pa yan,
there's
Maria?
my favorite illustrations po.
Ayun.
So, yung mga paborito ko illustrations, the pinakbet, kare-kare, and caldereta.
Makatotohanan yan.
Favorite food or favorite drawing?
Illustrations po. Opo. Yeah. Mga favorite ko pong illustrations inside the book.
Okay, show us more. Okay.
And this is the hardest one. There's a lot of story behind this dinuguan.
The book is available,
because,
of course, right, Felix? The book is available, right? Okay.
Yes, it's available internationally.
Yes. I think I have a copy in my library. I will have to take a look at it again. Okay.
Oh,
so,
enjoy it. Enjoy it. What's good about kain na? Vicarious calories.
yeah. You have more pictures to show us, Mariel?
That's all po, Miss Lauren.
Thank you so much. And I hope
Illustrations.
there would be more millennials, more young, talented people like you to be collaborating with the elders in trying to communicate history. Do you have a group of young illustrators?
Wala po. I'm a freelance illustrator po.
Okay. Nakakatuwa. You stay on with us and we, although we're over time, Professor Shao, do we have to, we're 1 hour and 15 minutes already.
Maybe we can have 10 minutes of reading the messages.
Yes. Are you going to read the messages? There are some messages here. Let me just...
Ma'am, bago pala yan. I want to share something. Is that okay?
Can you read all the messages, please? Mahaba eh.
Opo.
Oo.
Before I read the messages, ma'am, meron akong gustong i-share na something just to add to the discussion. Konting-konti lang to.
Yes.
If Mariel is now the illustrator of food in the 21st century, kung babalik tayo noong 19th century, 19th century meaning panahon ng ating mga ninuno, may nag-drawing din ng food. Wala pang photography, wala pang IG, so hindi pa makapag-IG si Ma'am Feliz noon. Wala pang television photography. So si Jose Honorato Lozano, which famous siya sa kanyang mga album, album at yung kanyang Letras y Figuras. Noong 1847, gumawa siya ng album ng Philippine Scenes, Daily Life. At tingnan nyo, ang kanyang pandekorasyon sa kanyang pabalat ay pagkain na agad. At aso! Gustong-gusto ni Ian Alfonso yan. Foods in Philippine history. Dogs in Philippine history.
Napakaganda nito. Vistas de las Islas Filipinas. Is this the cover of the book?
Yes, Jose Honorato Lozano. Yan yung original cover.
Wow.
And ito po yung mga foods, santol, tampoy, kamyas, mabolo, bunga, mangga, igmaw, o buyo. And then, more. See? Mga fruits. Di ba?
Atis. Panahon na ng atis. Ang sarap-sarap ng aming atis sa Tobias Fournier sa Antique. Sana padala na ako ng mayor, kaya lang wala kaming flights eh. Ayan, sarap.
Shout out sa mga taga-Antique. And even...
gawa tayo, Feliz and Mariel, ng culinary history, ang yaman ng kasaysayan ng aming probinsya at sa maraming nanonood sa Antique. So, we can work on the 18 municipalities, yung hanggang sa mga lalagyan, hindi lang yung pagkain. Una, yung nature namin napakayaman, yung karagatan at kabundukan. Pangalawa, yung aming kultura. Tingnan mo yung suot ko, ito'y kamay. Ito machine-made kamay hinahabi ng bawat babaeng sa Barangay Bagtason. Ito ay patadyong na ginawang blusa.
Wow.
Ng isang
Maganda.
Oo. Pangatlo, kami ay gumagawa ng sarili naming palayok kasi mayaman ang aming lupa sa clay.
Ayun.
Ang aming mga paso ay hindi semento, ito'y palayok. Meron kaming mga work centers, maliliit sa mga bahay-bahay sa Sibalom at sa Timbiao. Ang luto namin sa palayok. Kaya ibang-iba. Una, mayaman ang pagkain sa bundok at sa dagat kasi meron kaming mga protected areas na inaalagaan namin ang bundok at ang karagatan.
Very good.
Sa Panay Peninsula kami. Kaya pag nandun ka, ang tuna, ang tinatawag sa aming karagatan, the tuna corridor. Baka kala ng tao, koridor sa mga dormitory. Ito ang koridor ng aming mayamang karagatan. Tapos, ang aming mga katutubo, yung mga ati sa Hamtik at sa Dao, meron kami. At sa kultura, napakayaman namin. Yung mga rini-research ng NHCP at ng NCCA, nandyan yung mga lumang panahon ng mga sarsuela. Anong ang tawag doon, Feliz?
The Comedia?
No, not the Comedia. It escapes me now. we had, let me see, not the media. Cherie, I hope you're online and alert. During the campaign of last year, aside from the campaign, I even had a presentation in the plaza of the traditional Zarzuela. Let me see. Nako, pista ng komedya. Hindi, may tawag tayo dun eh. Anong bayan yun? Sa isang remote barangay, sa isang municipality called Lawaan, ay nadiskubre na doon nagsimula or isa doon sa mga sinaunang komedya. Maybe it's called komedya, but I know that there's a local term. So,
yes, meron yan.
Bakit tayo napunta sa komedya mula sa pagkain? Kasi konektado yan eh. Sabi nga ni, mula sa nature hanggang sa micro-enterprise o hanggang sa mga suot, hanggang sa pagkanta, hanggang sa kwento, that's part of the cultural mapping. Kaya ang pagkain ay nasa buod. It is who we are, but it cannot happen. How can we have food if the environment is degraded?
Exactly.
How can we have food if there's no innovation? Happy to tell you, Felice and Professor, that konting yabang pero totoo, ako ang principal author ng Innovation Act. Dahil naniniwala at kakapasta lang noong 2009 na dapat yan ay ipatupad. Yung Innovation Act, kung isipin mo, sa ating kultura hanggang sa pagkain, may innovation. Tama yung sinabi ni Felice. And I will adopt that. Nature protection, environmental protection, innovation, and food. Okay.
If I might add, Loren, that's really good because when I study the history of Filipino food, palaging sinasabi, there's no vegetables, walang gulay, until a certain period comes in, no? What they meant by the gulay is the cultivated kitchen gardens.
Yes.
But what I think happened, and I've been looking at different maps, forest maps, and how the forest gets smaller and smaller, how the mangroves disappear. And it turns out, when you look at the lists of edible wild plants, even as late as 1922, madami pang kinakain, puro forage. So in other words, you don't need to have a kitchen garden. You just walk out, you go to the beach, you go to the mangrove, you go to the low forest, you go to the sides of your rice field. Marami ka lang makukuha.
Tama, okay.
Vegetables.
Kanina, bago tayo, before I joined you, tutul kami ng gabi. Mula sa tinatanim kong gabi, nanay kong 86 years old, yung tangkay ng gabi, tinatanggal, sabi ko, iluluto natin. Mula sa gitna, yung tangkay ng gabi, hanggang sa mga tinuyo namin na leaves ng gabi, ay kakainin namin. Pangalawa, tinatanim, dati, yung aking farmhand, sabi niya, tanggalin natin to, maraming invasive na mga dahon-dahon dito. Sabi ko, teka, huwag ka basta nagpapatay. Tapos, ito'y talinum. Ang talinum, napakayaman sa nutrisyon. Hindi ka maalam or hindi ka matanong, masyado raw invasive, gumagapang sa kanyang mga halamanan, papatayin niya. Sabi ko, huwag mong patayin at buhay. So araw-araw, kumakain ako ng talinum para i-prove sa mga taong nagsasabing patayin na kasi invasive. Kumakain na rin sila. Ibig ko sabihin, tama ka, maaring may kitchen garden. In fact, I filed a bill called the Forest Garden Act. I'll ask my staff, Cherie, to email to Professor and to Felice how the Forest Garden Act, not yet passed by Congress, can be improved and revised to include the knowledge of Felice Santa Maria para magkaroon ng culinary utilization ng Forest Garden Act. So, dapat talaga alamin ang pansit-pansitan. Kala natin, nandiyan lang yan.
Exactly. Ang daming gulay-gulay na we have not considered gulay. Kasi nga, hindi siya cultivated. And it's seasonal. Yan ang maganda, seasonal.
I'm glad binanggit mo rin yung seasonal. Kasi, ako, ito lang advice ko. i-connect ko yung ating pinag-uusapan sa sustainability. Sabi nila, ano naman connection ni Lauren? Kasaysayan, pagkain, sustainability, innovation, ang layo na. Pagkakabit po yan. Kasi dapat ang ating pagkain, hindi gagawa ka ng menu, tapos maghahanap ka ng ingredient. Baliktad. Dapat anong tinanim mo, kung ngayon ay tag-ulan, ano ang uus mo sa panahon na tag-ulan. Kung mayabong ngayon ang kangkong, yan ay gagawa ka ng adobong kangkong. Ngayon, kung mamimitas ako ng kalamansi, ito, katabi ko yung aking pandan at ang dill at ang kutsay at meron akong alugbati at talbos ng kamote. So, kung ano ang meron akong tanim na mausbong, mayabong ngayon sa panahon ng pandemya, yun ang ulam ko. Gagawa ng ulam, bibili. Magastos po yan. So anong ibig po sabihin ng sinasabi ko, nakala niyong walang connection? I'm not saying yung guest, baka yung Facebook, sabi ang layo na ni Lauren. Hindi po. Ang ibig sabihin po, Sustainability 101 ito ay magtanim. Maski wala kayong farm, sa bote, lata, plastic. Pag magtanim tayo, kung anong uusbong na may harvest, yun pong ulam sa pang-araw-araw. Hindi gagawa ka ng menu, pagpipilitan mo yung menu, mag-i-import ka pa, pupunta ka pa sa grocery, bibili ka pa ng imported, pwede ka naman gumawa ng menu ayon sa harvest mo sa araw na yon. Ibahin mo lang mindset mo. Huwag kang isipin mo gusto mong puro imported. O sige, paminsan-minsan. Pero buy local, plant, and the nearer the source of your food. Yan ang tinatawag natin, lang carbon footprint. Tayo ay nagtatanim lang sa ating kung kumuha ng pagkain sa tabing dagat ang mangingisda, kung tayo nagtatanim sa ating backyard, kung nag-aalaga tayo ng sariling native chicken, hindi ba? Mas healthy po yun kaysa yung mga chicken na ini-injectionan para tumaba or yung gulay na binubudburan ng mga pesticide at insecticide. Kaya yun po ang aking Sustainability 101 na pagtuturo sa ating culinary history ni Feliz Santa Maria at ni Mariel at ni Professor Xiao. Sabi nila, wala namang connection ng sinasabi ni Lauren.
Meron.
Isingit ang sustainability sa ating pinag-uusapan. Okay.
Kailangan talaga yung sustainability kasi pag walang sustainability, di walang pagkain.
Wala na.
Diba? Yeah.
Ang daming Facebook messages. Sino mababasa nito?
Ako na po, ma'am. Ako na.
Sa'yo ba lahat? Are you sure?
Okay lang po, opo. Sabi ni Vilma Briones Chua, nanay ko po yan, makasaysayang araw at mabuhay kayong lahat. Hello po, my icon, idol Congressman Ma'am Lauren. Ayan. Tapos ma'am, baka pwede niyo ring batiin yung may nagpapabati po sa nanay po ng isang ina-admire niya, si Myra Ilagan Garcia po. Opo. Myra Ilagan
Garcia. Yes.
Nanay ni Mariel yan.
Nanay ni Mariel, taga-Taal. Mga Ilaga o Rosa, taga-Taal. Nanay ni Mariel.
Tapos,
iyong talented daughter, nanay ni Mariel.
Si Joe Cab din. Shoutout kay Joe Cab, Drew Gis mula sa Malayan Colleges. Si Luisito Pangilinan Olegario, mga guho po yan. Mabuhay po kay Senadora. June Redor, Amazing Food and History Treat. April Ben Likayan, mga storyang may saysay. At sabi niya, siya po ay from Gingoog City. I was one of your students. Ako daw, estudyante ko daw siya sa Xavier University sa GDCE ng NCCA. And then Virgilio Pariña from Calamba, Laguna. Adrian Garcia, Emerson Ong. Emerson Ong, ikaw ba yung magikero na naging estudyante ko? Ayan. Gabriel Raso, hi from Manama Permaculture. Ayan. Yung tita ko si Edna Briones de Guzman, makasaysayang umaga daw sa ating lahat. At babatiin ko namin lahat ng Briones, Chua, Manlutak, Apundar clans sa Tarlac, lahat na po yung mga kamag-anak ko.
Professor Chua, nabati-bati ka ng Tarlac, binabati ko sila, pero wag kong kakalimutan ang aking loyal Antiqueños na nanonood atin, lalo na kay Emma Pagunsan Bastonero. Wow, sabi niya, very interesting topic from Sibalom Antique. Sibalom is one of our biggest municipalities. Nandyan yung binanggit ko na mga clay pots kasi mayaman ang lupa sa clay. At napakayaman din sa bamboo. Anyway, continue reading all the Facebook messages. Marami mapapaus ako.
June Vedor, nakikisang manood mula sa Pasay, Filipa Alcaide, and Kelly Marian Morga Mortensen. Hello, we are excited to hear about Habi Philippine Cotton Advocacy, proudly weaving in Philippine cotton. Ayan, hello po. From Sibalo Mantique, Emma Pagunsan Bastonero. Yan, tapos yun. Ayos. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig sa atin.
Marami pa, sandali. Si Drew Gis, watching from Malayan Colleges, Laguna. Virgilio Parina from Calambak, Laguna. Luisito Pangilinan Olegario. Mabuhay po kayo, Senadora. Salamat po. Hindi na po ako senator, pero maari na rin. Salamat po. Philip Alcaide. Mabuhay. Gabriel from Mama... binasa mo niyan. Did you read June Redor and John Rivera?
Yes.
Yes.
Ito na, latest natin si Alvin Salen. And we have 564 constant watchers ngayon na stay pa rin sa atin kahit overtime tayo, Senadora.
Okay. No, actually, much more. From what I see, over 20,000 have watched us. This pang-apat na natin to, Professor Shah, right?
Kasi po marami pang manonood after.
Okay. So, summarize lang po tayo. Sa mga nanonood po sa atin sa buong Pilipinas at sa buong mundo, ang Road to 500, maari po kayong ngayon lang nakarinig nito o mapapanood po nyo pagkatapos po. Live po tayo on Facebook sa National Historical Commission at ang aking Facebook na Lauren Legarda. Hanapin na lang nyo kung Lauren Legarda. At pwede pang i-link. I-follow din natin sa Instagram si Xiao Chua at si Feliska. Ka-follow ko lang sa kanya ngayon. At ang I am Lauren Legarda and NCCA and NHCP. Ano ba ho ito? Ito'y isang selebrasyon para i-commemorate ang pagdating ni Magellan hindi sa pagsakop sa atin, kundi sa victory and humanity na kanina ay pinaliwanag na ni Xiao Chua, ating professor, resident professor. Ang ibig sabihin po nito, yung mga tinahak na landas ng ating mga dayuhang bumisita at ang mga konektadong aspeto ng ating buhay kasama na ang pagkain. Kaya meron tayong eksperto sa pagkain sa pamamagitan ni Feliz Prudente Santa Maria at ang kanyang illustrator na talentadong si Mariel. Ay sa panahon ngayon ng pandemya, mahalagang malaman natin ngayon ang importansya ng pagkain, ang pagtanim ng gulay, ang pangangalaga ng ating kapaligiran at kalikasan, ang pag-uunawa ng ating kasaysayan para ma-maintain at ma-retain po natin ang mga pagkain ito dahil ito ay kasaysayan, hanap buhay po ito, daming online ngayon at ito'y nakaka-enrich ng ating mental health pa rin sa panahon ng pandemya. Kaya bumili po kayo ng libro na Kain Na ni Feliz Santa Maria. Hahanapin ko yung kopya ko. Kung hindi naman tayo makabili, online meron ba o sa mga bookstore or pwede kayo mag-message sa kanya sa Instagram at bumili kayo. Mag-private message kayo ha. Hindi po sa akin. Hindi po ako nagbebenta ng libro. Pwede rin natin connect. We can also connect this to the National Book Board and the project I have with the Book Board and the Frankfurt Book Fair. Pero malayo pa po yun. In 5 years, the Philippines will be the guest of honor. But see, I'm connecting everything. And I hope that we will have Feliz Santa Maria's books. Sheria and NHCP are online. Can you connect her, please, with the Book Board and with Annie Almario and Karina Bolasco? All the books of Feliz Santa Maria, which are national treasures. I really think that as a researcher and writer, author, she has contributed so much to our history, and I hope that we can carry all her books in the Frankfurt Book Fair on the road to becoming guest of honor. Guest of honor ang ibig sabihin yung featured country, host country in 2025. And so, I have really jumped from history to the book board and the work we do. And natatawa na lang si Professor Xiao. Ganyan. Parang Senate hearing or House of Rep hearing, which I have to go to now. Lumilipad. Kasi konektado naman po lahat yan.
Yes. Lahat ng bagay ay magkaugnay. Sabi nga ni Joey Ayala sa kulturang Pilipino, art, food, kaginhawaan, kalayaan.
I'm so happy to see Feliz. I'm glad we're connected now. Hindi ko ang iyong cellphone mamaya. Tatanungin ko lang, Feliz, ano yung the sculpture beside you? I cannot see it so well.
Kay Billy. Gawa ni Billy Abueva.
Itong katabi mo.
Is that you?
Yes.
Ikaw.
With very short hair. Matagal na yan. Gawa ni Billy.
Kasi wala akong salamin. Hindi ko makita masyado. Kala ko it was a national hero or someone because it was a sculpture. Teka, hindi naman yan si Jose Rizal. Yun. So it's an Abueva sculpture when Feliz had short hair. Okay.
Yes. Kaya mukhang boy.
Okay. Wala pang nag-sculpt sa akin, kaya ang aking nasa likod ay
halaman.
Kung makikita po nyo, yan ay Sansevieria. Ang Sansevieria,
yes.
I changed the name for myself para mas maintindihan ng aking kasambahay. Kasi Sansevieria, hindi po nila ma-spelling yan or baka hindi maalala. Ang tawag ko, oxygen plant. Kasi itabi mo yan sa iyong kama. Ako rin, meron ako sa workplace ko, pagtulog ko. Dahil alam mo ba, nakasarayan sa araw, bubukas ang kanyang mga mata sa gabi at nagbubuga ng oxygen. Imbis na bumili kayo ng mamahaling air purifier o di meron tayong natural air purifier, magtanim ng Sansevieria. Natatawa kayo sa akin. Tapos, yung mga bulaklak ko, yan, ako lang nagtatanim yan. Hindi naman tayo makalabas. Paborito ko magpuntang Dangwa, mag-ayos ng ganun, pero mahirap naman lumabas, ayaw naman natin magkasakit. Kaya sumunod po tayo sa alituntunin ng pamahalaan. Ang inyong kontribusyon sa flattening the curve at sa pagpanalo natin labang sa COVID ay stay home.
Stay at home. Stay at home.
Stay home. Kung kaya po nyo. Pag nurse po kayo o police, syempre hindi po stay home. Kaya nga kayo ang mga bayani dahil kayo ang mga frontliners. Sa mga hindi naman dapat lumabas, stay at home. Kung kaya nyo mag-work at home, work at home. Kung kayo'y nasa stress na sa work, manood kayo ng 4 episodes ng Road to 500. Sigurado ako mawawala ang inyong anxiety. Tatalino kayo dahil naririnig nyo si Professor Xiao Chua. Matutuwa at matatawa kayo kay Lauren Legarda na minsan ay nagpapatawa maski hindi naman ako komedyante. At natututo ako sa mga eksperto na ating panauhin gaya ngayon. Ako'y nagpapasalamat sa aking matagal ng kaibigan, I think more than 20 years ago, Feliz Prudente Maria, sa kanyang pag-share ng kanyang kaalaman at sa kanyang pagdalubhasang pagsaliksik sa culinary history. At salamat kay Mariel sa isang batang talentado na nagbibigay ng talento niya sa mga aklat ni Feliz Santa Maria. At salamat sa aking partner na tawag kita, Xiao Chua. Alam nyo, hindi lang po every Road to 500 na once a month. Madalas kami mag-text sa Instagram, nag-messaging ni Professor Chua hanggang 12 midnight kagabi. Ganyan kami kasipag po. Hanggang kaninang umaga, naglabas na siya ng mamaya na. Nag-aaral pa sa aking committee hearing at nag-aalmusal. Ayan na si Chua, mamaya na. So ako'y na-stress, mamaya na. Yun. So, aking hihilingin lang next time ko, Professor Chua, dahil 4 yung episode, bubuksan mo ang bintana mo next time para makita ko naman kung meron kang halaman. Kung wala kang halaman, tatanggalin mo yung iyong brown, kasi pag brown madilim, bubuksan mo ang sunlight at maglalagay ka ng anumang halaman na endemic sa Tarlac. Okay?
Sige. Salamat po.
Ang ganda ng mga puno mo sa labas at maglalagay ka ng mga paso maski na sa recycled na bote, lata at plastic, papakita mo ang mga edible garden at gulay na iyong tinatanim. I think that's the best way to cap our taste or culinary history graced today by Feliz Santamaria. Feliz, just a few last words.
For me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we are a great people, and I know we are great because of words related to food. There's one word that I keep hammering on because its definition has disappeared. If there's anything I want you to remember, it's the word naya, naya. I don't know if Ian is there because he can put it on the screen. The word naya, naya comes out of Cebu. And it was recorded in the 1800s to mean two things. First, to provide food for others, to entertain others, to give the happiness to others by feeding them. That was the first meaning, priority meaning. The second meaning of naya naya was to be a happy person. In other words, we, as Lorraine has been explaining, as Xiao has said, and as the illustrations of Marielle try to do and do very well, when we bring food to others, we feed food to others, we make sure nobody goes hungry, we become a happy person. So the secret to Filipino cuisine, I always say, is that we always add into the ingredients, the secret one, the desire that the food bring happiness. Now, if that isn't great for Filipino culture, if that isn't a great characteristic of Filipino food, I don't know. We want to bring happiness through our cooking. Yeah, naya naya. That's the word.
Naya naya.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just like to say that I do believe that there is memory and taste. Food is home, and home is where our identity is. Tatanggap tayo ng mga impluwensya sa labas. Ngunit wag nating kaligtaan o kalimutan lagi na may babalikan tayong tahanan. The quincentennial should be a platform to foster our national interest and at the same time promote the message of humanity. The Filipino character shines bright in times of need. Let us keep that spirit burning. So again, thank you very much for joining us in this 4th episode of Road to 500. And before I go, look at my Instagram. I featured the lasao. That's very unique to Antique. There's a video of lasao that is the sauce made from our sugar cane. And I think I was in Bugasong when that was shown. It's somewhere. And there should be another special episode on Antique cuisine, but that's for another place. But thank you so much. We're 40 minutes overtime, although I'm not paying for airtime, but it's been very interesting to be with like-minded people, whether millennial or age similar to mine. Okay, we're not old, we're midlife. Thank you so much to all our viewers. And they are growing and growing. Stay at home. Thank you to our frontliners for keeping us alive. Watch Road to 500 4 episodes again and again and memorize everything that our guests are saying. Have a good day. Thank you.
Salamat po.
Mandirigmang Pilipino.